Hey y'all, what's good? This is your girl Nikki, aka the Bayou Chick, and I am back with another video about Dallas. So I didn't realize how many people were really interested in the topic, and since I know a lot about Dallas, I am here to share what I know. So I'll be making several videos. I'll try to stick to just one topic instead of combining so much in one video. I think that might be easier for y'all. So this one here that I'm gonna make today is going to be about employment in Dallas, since it seems like a lot of people have questions about that. A lot of people are moving to Dallas and they're wanting information on job resources. Now, I'm gonna give you a little bit of backstory, and then I'll be interjecting. I do talk fast, y'all, so bear with me, please. I will try to slow down, but the way my brain thinks, it's like a little computer on the inside. But I'll try to slow down for y'all. So, where can I start? My dad's family is from Dallas. My mom's family is from Louisiana. I've always gone back and forth since I was a little kid. So I know a lot about both of those states. I'm also an Army brat, so I've moved around a lot as well. My first real job in Dallas was when I finished high school in El Paso. My family had moved we were stationed at Fort Biggs Airfield Base. They also have Fort Bliss, which is the Army base in El Paso. And so we moved to, I moved back to Dallas. And I was 16, 17, about that age, because I graduated from high school early. And my first job there a long time ago was at a Kroger's grocery store. Now back then, Kroger's paid about $10 an hour, just working as a cashier with no experience. Tom Thumb, if you're a young person and you have no job experience or you have a disability, please check out the grocery stores like Tom Thumb and Simon David. I'm not sure if I think they have a Simon David over in the off Lemon Ave, off of, let's see, it's normally like in the what they call Turtle Creek area. Simon David is the higher end. There's a sister store of Tom Thumb. They're normally like in Highland Park. There's one over by North Park Mall, I believe, over there by the Cheesecake Factory. And I think they have some maybe like over off Preston Road in Plano, but they pay pretty good for a grocery store. And they have really decent benefits. So if you're young, unexperienced, check out the grocery stores. If you even have a little customer service, they could boost you to manager really quickly. And it's a good way to get your foot in the door. If you have kids or you have like young adults in your household and they need a job, check out the grocery stores. Also check out, okay, now this I would recommend, I would say gas stations, because my daughter, she was an assistant manager at Quick Trip. Actually, she's still at Quick Trip. The reason why I say Quick Trip, I think they start out between $13 to $15 an hour. They can go to all the locations to pick up hours. If you have an issue where you might have to take time off because she's in the reserves, they're really flexible with letting you have time off without penalizing you. So Quick Trip is another one. She's a young woman. My daughter, she's been at Quick Trip for a few years now. I think, well, when she finished high school, that was like one of her jobs there. And it's been really flexible, and it's allowed her to go to college, do her reserve training, and make fair wage. That's what I'll say. So look into that if you fit those demographics, or you know somebody who fits those demographics. Now like I said, my first job is at a grocery store. I worked there, and then I moved back to Louisiana to go to college. On my college breaks, I would come back to Dallas and stay with my grandmother, my great-grandmother, my big mama. She was a nurse. She had been a nurse since I was a kid. She actually I always thought she was a nanny for some reason, because she was always taking care of this lady, Miss Susie. That was like her best friend. Miss Susie was like a really wealthy, let me see, her husband I think was an attorney, and I think Miss Susie was like an interior designer or something. I could be wrong, but I think that's what they did. What they did, they had a huge fabulous house, and they lived over by White Rock Lake. So my granny always took care of their kids since they was little, so I thought she was maybe like a nanny. Come to find out, she was a nurse, had went to school, didn't even know that she had passed away, and it was in her obituary, the college that she went to, and I guess she was just their private duty nurse. Her daughter, my grandmother, worked at Parkland Hospital for 30 years, retired at Parkland, stayed away for 6 months, and went back and worked again. She had her own office. She was like a manager over what they would call maybe like plant services, housekeeping, that type of thing. And she was one of those people who just loved to work. So that's kind of probably why I got into the healthcare field somewhat, because I saw examples of that in my family, people who wore scrubs and worked at a hospital. During my summer breaks, when I would come back to Dallas, the jobs that I would get would be something like retail. Quite a few of the malls that I worked at when I was younger, they're closed now. But Dallas has more shopping centers than any other place in the United States. I used to know the statistics on that. I don't know it. I probably should have researched it, but I didn't even think to bring that topic up, honestly. But I know they have several malls. Back in the day, Dallas was the place that people came to shop. It was like a fashion mecca in the United States. People would come to Texas to shop, Big Town Mall to shop. They had Valley View Mall. They had Prestonwood Mall. They were always building malls, and people would come to Texas to get inspiration. That's why the people in Texas are very fashionable. Y'all can fight me if you want to. Don't at me. But people in Texas are very fashionable. I have traveled a lot. I have traveled to other states. And when I go, I'm always like, you know what? They just don't have the pizzazz that Texas people do. They just do it bigger and better. That is true. The hair, I mean, now I'm not, of course you have your exceptions to every rule. Everybody is not going to be on point. But for the most part, anything you want in the beauty, let me see, from your head to your toes, anything you want done, you can get it done in Dallas. I would definitely say that. You can find the best of anything, but this is not a beauty video, so I'm gonna go back to work. So I was working in the malls. I got a lot of experience with customer service and retail, how to deal with different people, how to interact with, I worked for Foley's when they were open back in the day. I worked for Macy's. I worked for Lord & Taylor. A lot of these stores are not even open anymore, but I gained a lot of customer service experience, and I parlayed that into a receptionist job. I picked up jobs at different temp agencies. They had, so check with some temping agencies. Now some of these names, I'm telling y'all, they may not even be in business anymore, but take the ideas and run with them and research them, because some of these companies have been bought by other companies. They've merged, but I'm letting you know of the industries that were working then and some of them that are still working to this day. That I know if something happened, God forbid, and I had to go and get a job in Dallas and it wasn't in healthcare, I could go and get a job in one of those industries. I hate when my glasses feel like they're crooked. I need to get them tightened up a little bit. But anyway, so I worked for different temp agencies. They had Office Team. They had Robert Half Accounting. When you call, you're gonna have to, you're gonna have to do a typing test. You're gonna have to do an assessment. They're gonna type. I ain't gonna lie. When I first got my